Hi there, students. Confirmation bias. Okay, a bias means you like one thing more than another without analysing the facts and the reasons why. Yeah? In a football match, very often they say the referee's biased. He favours the other team because he likes them. But as humans, we have a huge number of biases, of cognitive biases. Cognitive, the way we think. And cognitive biases can lead us to make terrible mistakes when we think we're being logical. Okay? So, a cognitive bias. Okay, so a confirmation bias is a cognitive bias. Okay, confirmation bias means when we see evidence in favour of something that we agree with, we jump on it and we're really, really happy with it, and it makes us feel even more right because it confirms what we say. And what's also interesting is when we see information that is against what we believe, this also makes our bias, our belief pro this thing, even stronger. So confirmation bias talks about when we see evidence or somebody talking in favour or against something that we already believe, something that we think is true, it just makes us believe even more strongly that this thing is true. And also confirmation bias, we tend not to look at the evidence, we tend not to look at the methodology. We see this is in favour of what I think, and we don't actually look at why this person has reached this conclusion. We don't think it through fairly or reasonably. Now, confirmation bias is a very difficult thing to counteract. We've already made up our minds about something, and nothing is going to change them. Everything we see in favour of it confirms our bias, and everything we see against it also confirms our bias. I think to work against confirmation bias, and there have been some studies with this, the best thing to do is to look at the evidence and imagine it was arguing the opposite. And to look at the evidence and say, if this was arguing the opposite thing, would this be reasonable logic and a reasonable basis to confirm the opposite? This is quite strange, but that's what you need to try and do. Okay, so a confirmation bias means that when we've already made up our minds about something, the red ones are good, the blue ones are bad, then everything we see will confirm that the red ones are good and the blue ones are bad. Evidence in favour of the red ones, oh yes, absolutely, you see I'm right. And evidence against the red ones, in favour of the black ones, oh look, yes, I'm right. It makes you feel more strongly that your belief is true. If you look at Wikipedia with cognitive biases, there are hundreds of them, although many of them are very similar. So there you go, maybe a little bit different for a video, a bit more psychology. Cognitive biases and confirmation bias. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Confirmation bias.